Hi, welcome to the first of these 3D Studio Max training videos. What we're going to do over the next few tutorials is we're going to look at the basics of 3D Studio Max and hopefully give you enough skills just so you can jump in there and get making stuff as quickly and easily as possible. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this first session, session 1, and we're going to identify the workspace. So by the end of this session you should be able to identify the main toolbar, identify the Reactor Tool Bar, identify the command panel, and identify the viewports. Okay, so let's have our first look at Studio Max. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the Studio Max interface, and at first it looks a bit intimidating, but don't let that put you off. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is this yellow circle around my mouse. I've just put that on to make it easier for you to follow my mouse. Okay, so you'll be able to see where I'm going and what I'm doing. It just makes it a lot easier for you. So you obviously won't have that yellow circle. Now, having said that, let's have a look at stuff that you have got. Now, along the top here, you should have a fairly standard toolbar that you should recognise from any application really. You've got a file, edit, all the usual options. These have got every tool that Studio Max has, and you can access everything from here by going through all the various controls and all the various panels and what have you. Now fortunately you don't have to learn all of that, because most of the stuff we need is displayed around the screen. It's all graphics. So let's identify the 4 main areas that we're going to start with. And the first one is this bar along the top, and this is the main toolbar in Studio Max. Okay, it's got various tools that we'll be using over the next few sessions: move, rotate, selection, undo, redo, and it's it's the main bar that we'll be using throughout most of these tutorials. So that's the main toolbar. Now the next one is on this side of the screen here, and this is the command panel. And the command panel is basically all the shapes that we can put into a scene. We can put lights in, movie cameras, we can deform stuff. So that's the command panel. We come over here, and down this side of the screen, just here, we have the reactor panel. And the reactor panel has got all fancy options that we can use, such as we can make objects collide into each other and things like that. We probably won't get onto too many of these on these early tutorials, but just be aware of that's what they are, and if you get a chance, have a play with them. Then the main part of the screen is these 4 windows here. These are the viewports, and what these viewports represent is different views of the same object or the same scene. So top, as it says here, it represents looking down from the top onto an object. Front is the same object looking at it from the front, left is looking at it from the left, etc. So the main thing to take away from this is these are viewports. So let's summarise what we've just learnt. We've learnt that this across the top is the main toolbar. This down the right hand side is the command panel. This down the left hand side is the reactor toolbar, and each one of these is a viewport. Okay, so after that you should be able to identify some of the key elements of the 3D Studio Max interface. If you're pretty certain you can do the online quiz. If you're not sure, just watch this video again. In fact, after any of these sessions, watch the videos again. That's what they're there for. And what we'll do next is we'll start session 2, where we'll look at the viewports in a little bit more detail.